For me, growing up, it was just one of the things that I've always watched on the telly. And also, when I was asked to come on it as a player, it was a kind of rubber stamp that you've done quite well in your sport sort of thing. So I was sort of very proud my first time I appeared as a guest on it as well.
I wrote to Jim will fix it, and when I was about when I was about 8 years old, saying, "Oh, please, can I go on Question of Sport?" I mean, I just used to lie on the carpet in front of my dad and try and thrash him at Question of Sport.
Yeah. There was that kind of amazing moment when Emlyn Hughes was the team captain, and you have, Princess Anne sitting next to you. I can't imagine if I had Princess Anne sitting next to me here now, I'd say, do you fancy singing Love Divine, mate? It just wouldn't happen,
I can see you're with the right captain.
Yeah, well done, mate, well done, mate. Good stuff, you can come back again.
The appeal of Question of Sport is the interplay.
And by the way, Emlyn, I know you've been practising all week with your arms folded.
Yeah.
It was very English, isn't it, Question of Sport, quite self-deprecating and not taken too seriously.
And Mastermind's been putting its contenders to the test since 1972.
The thing about Mastermind, I believe, it's intelligent. It doesn't make any concessions. It doesn't assume that the general public are thick as two short planks, because they're not.
As a family, I always used to sit down, well, usually with my mother, and watch Mastermind as well. I think she just wanted to find out if I was learning anything at school. But even that music, dun, 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 da, da.
In the spotlight tonight is the Strictly dancer Darren Bennett. His subject is the sci-fi films that became a force to be reckoned with. The writer and DJ Stuart Mackony takes on a century of works by Britain's greatest poets.
It is absolutely terrifying. It is, when he says, our next contender, please, you feel a band of steel around your stomach, and you actually sit and think, I have, like Narnia or Poltergeist, I've fallen into the television, and it's both really exhilarating and really frightening.
What's the title of Lawrence Binion's poem that contains the line, they shall grow not old as we that are left grow old?
The Fallen?
Yes, with what does J...
I watched the contenders walking out from their chairs and their eyes fixed on the black chair, and however experienced as quizzes they are, and however clever they are, they're scared. Everybody's scared when they go and sit in that Mastermind.
For the glory of the Lord is shining.
And this year's Songs of Praise is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Aled Jones was already famous for his angelic voice when he first appeared on Songs of Praise as a choir boy. But his singing wasn't always appreciated when he joined in the hymns while watching the show at home.
As a child, I always used to sort of be told off for singing along, too loudly and spoiling it from my gran.
And in 2001, Aled presented his very first Songs of Praise from his home city in Wales.
Welcome to Bangor, and the oldest diocese in Britain.
Yeah, I was petrified going back to Bangor. I knew all the people in the congregation, and to this day, I'll let you into a little secret, I don't like doing the pieces to camera in front of the congregations, because if there are kids there, they're invariably kind of going, or looking at their watches, and I'm going to say, and the next hymn is, we have to do it usually about 13 times.
We begin with a hymn dedicated to all the saints in Wales, sung to this very familiar Welsh tune.
I've always thought we should be wearing a t-shirt saying Songs of Praise, the world's greatest karaoke, because, nowadays I think it's watched by 13 million or something like that worldwide. And I would say that maybe, half of them even maybe don't go to church. But the minute they start launching into Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven, it takes them back to school assemblies or maybe a comfortable, happy time in their lives.
One of his proudest moments was when the show was featured on The Vicar of Dibley.
Well, I've had a letter from BBC Religious Programmes, a chap called Tristan Campbell. He says that he wants to film Songs of Praise here at St Barnabas.
Heaven preserve us.
I love the fact that they thought it was Tom Jones. It's like, no, Aled Jones, woo, I get that a lot. But,